Hello, welcome back to the next video log. Alright, so today I'm going to show you how we measure the pipes and also do a bend and actually fit it. So the one I've chosen is to go from the reservoir around the back to the pump. So this one should be hopefully pretty easy, yeah, see how it goes. So let's just have a look at what we've got. We've got our pipe here, which is good, we need that. We've got some measuring tools here. We have some mandrels, so we use these to bend the pipe. Just here we've got our heat gun, we've got a little hacksaw for chopping the pipe to length. This is a bit of silicone that goes inside the tube when we heat it, and then when we bend it round our mandrel, it maintains its shape. So that's what that's for. We've got some blue painter's tape, which we use for cutting the tube. Just wrap it round, we can mark it with a pencil, and then use our miter box to cut a nice straight line in the pipe. This is a right angle as well. Other tools we need is the electric drill to screw the mandrels down to the board, microfiber cloth to wipe everything down before we heat the pipe. We've got to make sure that it's clean, doesn't have, you know, bits of dust on it, bits of gunk on it, because once you heat it up, those imperfections kind of get melted in. And also, very importantly, some gloves for when we're handling the pipe when it's hot. Alright, so first things first is measuring. So I've kind of prepared this already, it's quite fiddly. Essentially, in the monsoon bending kit, you get a bunch of rulers of different lengths and little wing nuts here to join them, and you can make all sorts of different shapes. You can actually get some 90 degrees and 45 degrees so that you can measure that. So when we're measuring, we're actually measuring the very center of the tube. So when the tube sits here in the mandrel, all the measurements from here, it's all down the center line of the tube. So we basically are measuring that path, and that is actually the center of the tube. So basically we go in here and we line this up here to the center of the fitting and the center of this fitting. See if it looks the way we want it to look. Now, this may actually seem like the center. You know, we could actually make this a bit shorter, bring it closer to here, which we can and probably will do. However, I always like to leave my pipes a little bit longer so that I can then, once we've cut it and bent it, we can you know, cut the pipe off at the right length. It's always better to have more pipe than not enough pipe. So I'm making these legs a little bit longer. So putting that in there, that looks alright. It's probably very hard to see on the camera. The pipe's relatively straight, so when we do the bend and go this way, could be just a little bit off, so I might just adjust that, just undo that slightly, close that in, tighten it, and measure from the center to the center. It's looking good. So I'm happy with that. So now the next thing is to write down our measurements. So each of these small ones is 10 centimeters, so, or 100 millimeters. So I'm going to count all the way here, and then I'm just going to write it down. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95. So this is going to represent our pipe, 95 millimeters. That's going to be that's a 90 there, 90 degree, that's 90 degree there. Measuring this leg now, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and that doesn't line up very well. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 75 plus, that makes 85, 95, 105, 106, 107, 108. So that's going to be 108. Again, just because I always like to have a little bit of extra length, let's just round that to 110. And then measuring from here to here, I'm just going to count the full lots of 10s. So we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, plus 131, 132, 133, 134, 135, 136, 137, and there's a mil there, 138. That one has to be pretty accurate, so it'll be 138 millimeters. Alright, so that is the pipe that we need to bend. And then what I then do is start to measure it out. So we're going to do a bend. The first bend will come around here. Actually, yeah, could actually do it like this. Bend it there, and then once that's done, put that in again. So might do that. First things first, let's just draw a straight line here. Use our 90-degree. Sorry if I get in the way of the camera. Alright, so that's a nice 90-degree. And then we put our mandrel in here. We actually are going to need to measure down. 95 is somewhere around there, so that's fine. We've got enough length there. First one in. Okay, it's nice and solid, and I won't put this one on straight away. I'll make this bend first, and then we'll most likely swap that to here, and then this one to here to complete that last bend. Looks nice and straight. Let's move this out of the way. Okay, so we're going to do this bend here first. So that's going to be 95. 95 is here. Okay. Just make a cut here for a minute, and then we'll come back. I've just got to move all of this stuff around for the bending and the heating, and then we'll come back and do that. Right, see you in a minute. Okay, alright, we're back. Just had to move all of that stuff back there. The pipe would get in the way. Just want to make sure there's nothing causing any issues. Alright, so make sure we've got our gloves on. And we also want to make sure that our pipe is clean. Is. We also want to make sure this is clean. Okay. Alright, so the first thing I do is take a lead pencil and mark on the pipe the area where I want to be heating it. So when we heat it, we slowly spin the pipe around, walking it backwards and forwards between us 2 points, which will be where our bend is. So what you can do is put our pipe there, walk it around, make sure we got the length that we want. So I'm actually going to go a bit past the 95. Again, more length is better than not enough. You can always chop it off with the hacksaw. So that looks good. If I walk that around, great. So what I'm going to do is mark, just about here, just in from the end here, and just start to put a line all the way around there, so that as you're walking around you can see where it is that you're heating. Okay, and then this is getting in the way. Now, I don't know how I did that, but that's come short. So let's start again. Okay, let's try that again. Alright, there's my length. Actually mark this side first. Start putting a line there. Get that all the way around. Okay. Walk it around. Okay, put my second mark there. Put that all the way around. Okay, so not too sure if you can see, you probably won't be able to see it. There's two lines, that's where we want to heat. Put our silicon tube in here and get ready to do our bend. So what you want to do is actually just hold it, about an inch above, slowly rotating it and slowly walking it along, and then once it's flexible enough, you can do your bend. So here we go. Oh, I haven't turned the power on. Hang on. Okay, alright. So probably takes about a minute and a half, I guess. Slowly I'm rotating the tube, walking it backwards and forwards, nice and evenly. You kind of want to do it and you can give it some, a little bit of a test bend as it's getting softer, and in actual fact it'll kind of start to bend under its own weight, and then that's kind of the right spot for it to make the bend. Again, just walking it backwards and forwards between the two marks. that you made, spinning it around, making sure it's nice and even. Okay, not sure if you can see, but it's starting to get a little bit flexible. There we go. It's getting there. Right, that looks good, and bend it round. That's slipped a little bit. Keeping it in the mandrel and, you know, straight with your line. If I look here, it's pretty straight down that line and down this line. Just holding it until it's cool. Kind of feels cool enough. Okay, and there we have it. And then we can pull our piece of silicone out. Alright, as you can see, we've now got a 90-degree bend, which is great. It's kept its shape, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So now what we have to do is do this next bend. Now, we measured, it's 138 millimeters from 90-degree bends. So we've measured that out, 138. And then what I'm going to do is put this mandrel here, the 180, screw that in and fit that there. And then I can bend around this 90 again and ensure that we go past the 110 for this spec here. So before we do that, I'll measure 110. Which is here. Now again, I just want to make sure that I go past that. We can always cut it back after. It's always best to have more length and not enough. So I'll just put this mandrel in now. Okay, so keeping it lined up here and the top of it to this line. nice and solid. So, what we're up to next is to do our second bend. That leg's going to be the 110mm one. We've set up our mandrel here so that we'll line that up, and then once we heat this part, then we'll bend it around. I need to get this silicone in there. Obviously that won't fit, so we're going to have to cut this pipe to shape. So easy to measure. We'll walk that around, make sure that we're past the 110, and somewhere around here. And what I like to do is grab some of this painter's tape, place that where I want it. Okay, and I'm going to grab my miter box. Again, just checking again, walk that around. Yep, it's past the 110. Grab our hacksaw. Set that aside. Same with that. Take the tape off. Now, I'm actually going to go and just rinse this out with water. So obviously when you saw it, there's lots of fine particles. Also going to get a vacuum and clean this up, so I'll be back shortly. Okay, alright, I'm back. So we've cut that. Cut that to length. That'll fit in there. We'll walk it around. We'll go past our 110. Happy days. So first things first, I'm going to mark my areas where I want to bend the pipe. Put that line all the way around. Okay. Going to walk that around. Put my next line. Mark that all the way around. Grab my silicone tube, make sure that's clean. Put that in there, and away we go. So again, we're going to walk it backwards and forwards, rotating it around for a couple of minutes, and then once it's hot enough, I'll place that there, and then bend it round. Okay. walking it back between the two marks, slowly bending it around, evenly heating the pipe. Right, the pipe's starting to get a little bendy. Right, nearly there. Alright, line that up, bend around. Pop that out of the way. Alright, there we have it. Okay, I think it's cool enough to pull our silicon out. Clean off those lead pencil marks that I've got there. Okay, that's our bend. Fits in nicely. So now we will cut that to length and do a test fit. I will make a short cut here and move all of our all the bits and pieces we don't need out of the way. Alright, be back in a minute. Okay, we're back. So now what we want to do is cut this pipe to length. So we got our 95. It's a bit over. Again, I always like to leave some extra length. That's, you know, it's only a few mil over 95, so happy to leave that there for the meantime. And then as we start fitting, then I may, you know, cut that back. And in actual fact, you know, I'll have a look and see how far that sits off this pipe, and, you know, may cut it even, you know, further than, cut it back even smaller than 95, but I'll make that call as I'm trying to fit it. But we do want to get close to the 110. So I grab my blue Phanteks tape, line that up in the region. Put that around there. Give it a mark up at the .110 point. Slot that into there, and chop that off. Get that vacuum cleaner again. Yeah. Again, before final fitting, we wash all of this stuff, all of these pipes out with distilled water. Okay, so let's give it a test run. Okay, that fits in great. Yeah, pipe looks good. There, the bends look great. You know, now we really just got to decide is, you know, am I happy with this amount of distance here? I'm not averse to it. It's really it's only going to be visible at the back. Functionality is what I am looking for, obviously. So yeah, I don't know. I think that looks all right. Right, so camera stop again. I don't know what's going on. Alright, so in actual fact, I've had to think about it. I'm going to leave it with the length there. It looks good from the back. You know, I've got plenty of space here. My drain port there is fine. That all fits in nice. And in the event that I've got to maybe move this slightly, you know, I've got the length. I can play with it in the future. So I'm good with that. Ultimately then what you do is clean these edges up. These are actually pretty good. clean it up, I get a little bit of wet dry sandpaper and smooth this all off nicely and give it a clean, and then we put our fitting in here, pressure cap, put our O-ring around there, about 5mm off is about right. Put our second one on. Okay. And then fit this in place here. Screw the compression rings down. And voila, we're done. There we go. And our pipe is in. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed that. I'll most likely do the last two pipes that are outstanding off camera. 3 pipes actually. So we got one from here, graphics card up to the radiator at the back to the CPU block up into the reservoir, and then we're ready to do a pressure test. Alright, see you next time.